Newly released footage showing Charlie Kirk's security team in the moments leading up to the shooting has emerged, sparking fresh controversy and raising serious questions about what truly happened that day.
I was closer than any of the students, closer than...
Witness testimonies are now revealing a story starkly different from what the public was initially told. As experts began piecing the details together, what they uncovered proved to be explosive. Newly surfaced footage of Charlie Kirk's security team has thrown the entire case into question. For weeks, officials maintained that security was tight, the environment controlled, and every precaution taken. But this new video tells another story, one marked by strange movements, unexplained gaps in formation, and decisions that defy logic. What once appeared to be a straightforward situation is now mired in uncertainty and speculation. Was it a momentary lapse in judgment or something far more deliberate? Picture the scene. A bustling campus courtyard filled with thousands of students buzzing with anticipation. It's September 10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, stands before the crowd in Orem, Utah, leading one of his trademark "prove me wrong" events. His words are bold, his presence polarizing, and his security fatally flawed. Hours later, tragedy would strike. But before the chaos and the bloodshed, there were warnings unheeded, advice ignored, and a fragile security operation that left the stage dangerously exposed. As this investigation unfolds, the footage of Kirk's security team in the moments before the gunfire is reshaping everything we thought we knew about that day. Many are now asking whether the tragedy could have been prevented. By September 2025, Charlie Kirk had become one of the most recognizable conservative figures in America. His American Comeback campus tour was drawing massive crowds on just as many protesters. But along with the fame came something far darker. In the weeks leading up to the Utah Valley University event, Kirk's team reported a surge of violent messages, thousands of them, marking a sharp escalation beyond the usual political hostility. Yet despite the severity of those threats, the UVU stop ended up having one of the weakest security arrangements of his entire 2025 tour. For this event, responsibility for Kirk's personal safety fell to the E.E. Schaefer Security Group, founded by former FBI agent Greg Schaefer and ex-police chief Brian Harpole. The firm had protected Kirk for years, but their contract ended in 2022 after a series of internal disagreements. At the last minute, however, they were brought back for UVU, a decision that has faced intense scrutiny ever since. The on-site team was relatively small, consisting of only 6 to 8 agents. Most were highly trained, some with backgrounds in Tier 1 special operations and federal agencies. Dressed in white shirts for visibility, they carried Meterband smart glasses capable of recording real-time video. But their mission focused on close protection, not perimeter security. That distinction would later prove critical. The plan was a hybrid. Kirk's private detail would secure his immediate vicinity, while the UVU Police Department managed the outer perimeter. On paper, it looked sound. In practice, it was anything but. Only 6 UVU officers were assigned to crowd control, barely 25% of the department's total manpower, and the gaps that followed would change everything. The UVU campus police force was stretched thin. No officers from the city of Orem were on site until after the first shots were fired. Even more concerning, no rooftop sweeps had been conducted, despite the shooter later positioning himself on a building barely 200 feet away. UVU lacked a drone surveillance program, and the private security team had no authority to inspect off-campus structures. Security analysts would later describe this lapse as a critical failure in the event's protection strategy. Months before the tragedy, Charlie Kirk had been warned about these vulnerabilities. In March 2025, security professional Chris Herzog, known for his work protecting high-profile figures such as Kim Kardashian, cautioned Kirk that there was a 100% likelihood of an assassination attempt if stronger precautions weren't taken. Herzog urged him to implement portable ballistic glass shields, rooftop monitoring, and even basic screening measures like handheld metal detectors. He also recommended that Kirk wear a bulletproof vest. None of those suggestions were adopted. Another expert, Mark Wilson, issued similar warnings. He criticized Kirk's insistence on open, lightly secured venues that left him dangerously exposed to, as he put it, unstable individuals with firearms. By ignoring these repeated Kirk's team remained one step behind the growing risks. To grasp just how exposed the Utah Valley University event was, consider the contrast with other stops on his tour. In Visalia, California, on September 2, 2025, security was far more robust. 60 police officers, 8 to 10 SSG agents, and extensive measures including metal detectors, perimeter sweeps, and drone surveillance. That event concluded without incident. Likewise, at several Arizona campuses throughout August, security presence and coordination were significantly stronger, providing a stark comparison to what unfolded at UVU just days later.
Security guards has clearly these sunglasses on that have meta or that can film, and you can see him tapping them right before he's shot. And then when he's down assisting Charlie, you see him tap them again.
At other stops on the American Comeback Tour, security looked very different. In Arizona, throughout August 2025, events typically had 20 to 40 officers on site, handheld metal detectors, and QR code ticket checks. But at Utah Valley University on September 10th, there were only 6 campus officers, the same 6 to 8 SSG agents, and none of the advanced precautions used elsewhere. Entry was open and unregulated, no detectors, no scanning, no screening. Security analysts later described the UVU setup as not even close to professional standards. So why the downgrade? According to several insiders, the decision came from Charlie Kirk himself. He was adamant about keeping his events open and accessible to students, resisting anything that might make him appear barricaded behind layers of protection. That accessibility was part of his brand: approachable, direct, willing to debate anyone faced. But that same openness carried a heavy price. It meant skipping body armor, declining bulletproof glass, and choosing an outdoor venue surrounded by elevated vantage points. Combined with the surge in threats, the setup created what experts would later call a perfect storm. What's especially intriguing is what the footage captured before the shooting began. Video from the event shows members of Kirk's security team making moves that have since sparked intense speculation. One widely circulated clip shows an agent adjusting his Metaband smart glasses just seconds before the chaos erupted. As one commentator observed in a viral breakdown, that single motion, ordinary to some, suspicious to others, became the focus of countless theories about what really happened next.
And I heard the pop, and I knew immediately it was a gunshot. And as soon as I thought that was a gunshot, I saw Charlie's neck and the blood. And I just knew instantly that there was no chance that he was going to survive.
The courtyard erupted in chaos. Students screamed, some dropping to the ground, others sprinting in every direction. Former Congressman Jason Chaffetz, who was in attendance, later recalled, "Everybody hit the deck. Everybody started scattering, yelling, and screaming." Within seconds, Kirk's private security details, 6 agents from the Schaefer security group, sprang into action. Positioned directly behind him on stage was Dan Flood, Turning Point USA's head of risk strategy. Together, the team formed a human shield, throwing themselves over Kirk's body. 25 seconds after the shot rang out, they lifted him from the stage and rushed toward a waiting black SUV about 50 feet away. Footage captured by bystanders shows agents attempting to stem the bleeding as they moved, pressing their hands to Kirk's neck wound while shouting for space. One video in particular went viral, showing an agent applying pressure while others cleared the path through the panicked crowd. But what caught the internet's attention wasn't just the heroism, it was what seemed missing. Viewers fixated on one unsettling detail: the apparent absence of blood on the hands and clothing of those assisting Kirk. As one viral analysis put it, if he was hit in the neck, where's the blood? That question, repeated millions of times online, would soon fuel a firestorm of speculation about what really happened on that stage.
So when we see all of these guys working on Charlie, why isn't there blood on their hands? Right? But if you saw the video, you saw the sheer amount of blood coming out of his neck.
To some viewers, the footage suggested the security team wasn't applying proper pressure at all, or worse, that the entire scene had been staged. The video spread like wildfire, fueling conspiracy theories within hours of the shooting. Experts, however, offered a different interpretation. In high adrenaline situations, they explained, standard procedures often collapse under chaos. Security consultant Will Geddes later argued that the lack of visible blood didn't mean life-saving. Efforts weren't made, it meant the agents had prioritized rapid evacuation over on-set stabilization. Still, even with that context, the footage left many uneasy. The controversy deepened when it became clear that instead of calling for paramedics, Kirk's team had loaded him into a black Suburban and driven directly to Timpanogos Regional Hospital, 5 miles away. Critics condemned the decision, pointing out that there were no EMTs on site and no ambulances staged nearby. Security expert Chris Herzog called it a haunting failure, insisting that immediate advanced care might have saved Kirk's life. Brian Harpole of the Schaefer security group defended the choice in a later interview, saying their mission was exfiltration to get Kirk out of a potential kill zone. With the shooter still active and no medical units available, Harpole said, speed mattered more than protocol. Kirk arrived at the hospital around 12:35 p.m. and was pronounced dead at 2:15 p.m. from massive blood loss. Back at UV, panic rippled through the campus. As Kirk's SUV sped away, students and faculty scrambled for cover.